New data indicates that the number of people who are uninsured, do not have health insurance, has increased quite a bit, but specifically in red states. So this is from the National Center for Health Statistics. They looked into the numbers and they've noticed that there is a steady increase of people living in red states who are uninsured. So the Trump administration's healthcare agenda is whacking red states hardest, according to reporting. So the uninsured rate between largely Democratic-controlled states that expanded Medicaid and the largely Republican states that have yet to do so is the widest it has been since the implementation of the Affordable Care Act. So the uninsured rate in non-expansion states was more than twice the rate in states that accepted the federal funding to expand Medicaid. Okay, so the numbers have increased under the Trump administration because of the messaging that we've heard from Trump. So for instance, the repeal of the mandate for the Affordable Care Act doesn't go into effect until next year, but Trump and his cronies keep telling people that they've already repealed it and that the Affordable Care Act is dead. That is not the case. So people might have canceled their insurance thinking, okay, well, I won't be penalized when I file for my taxes. They will be, so they're in for a treat. Also, the report does not show the impact of the Trump administration's decision to repeal the individual mandate, allow the sale of skimpy short-term plans, and give states a green light to implement Medicaid work. So remember, there are quite a few red states that are now trying to pass laws that would force people who receive Medicaid to work, to prove that they're working. And these proposals vary based on which state is proposing them. But it's a little disastrous because a lot of them are going to impact these people who have voted against their best interests and supported people like Trump.
My favorite little part of what some of these red states have done is they said, now you got to work to get Medicaid. That's some of the new laws that Anna was referring to, unless you're white. You're thinking, no, that can't be the case, right? That's too brazen. Well, they did it in a clever way. They said, depends on not your state, okay, because there's white people and black people, right-wingers and left-wingers in our states. And so if we made it across the whole state, then right-wing Republican voters would also have to work, but we don't want them to, right? So they said it depends on your district, your area of the particular area of the state that you live in. And it depends on that unemployment rate in that area. So based on that, you have a perfect way of separating out the white Republican rural areas from the more African-American urban Democratic areas. So the new rules say that if you live in the city and you're more likely to be a minority, you have to work to get Medicaid. If you live in the rural areas, you don't have to work. Now, why would it matter what the unemployment rate is? Are you a bum or are you not a bum? I mean, are we gonna make you work to get your insurance or are we not going to? What difference does it make what their surrounding area is? I thought this was a matter of character, right? That's how they frame it. I mean, the problem is the culture, right? That's what these are the code words they use, which is not very much of a code word. So why do you not care about the character of your bum Republican losers who don't have a job and who's milking off of me? I don't want them to do that. What, and then if they get cancer, I gotta treat them? When they're a bum who doesn't have a job, they should just go die.
So see how disgusting that sounds when someone turns it around and targets the people that you're in favor of, right? And that kind of language and that type of rhetoric shouldn't be utilized ever to describe anyone. I don't care what their political affiliation is. I don't care how poor they are or what their work ethic is. They're humans. And the way that they've referred to, unemployed people, people who desperately need things like Medicaid or, disability insurance, Social Security earlier in life because they have a disability, the way they refer to them is just heinous. It's disgusting, right? It's not representative of what the reality is. And by the way, we're not supposed to have lawmakers that demonize their constituents, but unfortunately we have that all the time. Now,
I gotta say one more thing about that particular part of it. Because if a Democratic governor, for example, had created a law that said white people have to work to get health insurance, but black people in the cities don't have to work, Could you imagine what would happen? Heads exploding. Oh, God, we knew it. Let's say they're a black governor. A black governor says that black people in the cities don't have to work to get insurance, but white people in the countryside, the farmers, have to work to get insurance. He's trying to kill white people, right? But when you do it to blacks, so that's normal. That's normal. You do it to people in the cities, that's normal. We protect the right-wingers who are bums, but we punish and maybe even lead to the deaths of people who didn't vote for us. They're monsters, these politicians.
And one final thing that I want to mention, look, this is not new, this is old news, but every time it comes up in stories that we do, it blows my mind. Think about what some of these red states did when the Affordable Care Act was enacted. They denied, they rejected federal money that would have helped to expand Medicaid in their state. They rejected it, okay? Knowing that that money would have helped to insure the neediest people in their state. They rejected it, all for political reasons, all because they were up in arms that Obama was the president that passed some healthcare reform, right? Healthcare reform, which, by the way, was a conservative concept implemented in Massachusetts under Mitt Romney. It's a Heritage Foundation policy. It is a conservative policy, but it doesn't matter. It's all about politics. They rejected it knowing that people in their states that desperately needed it wouldn't get that help.
Yeah, and I don't know when you're gonna get it through your head that they don't care about you. So, okay, look, I'm exhausted trying to have empathy for Republican voters. I'm trying, brother. We try to help you and say, hey, don't have the gun loaded in your house and unlocked because you're twice as likely to die and 3 times as likely to die of a suicide. No, I know what I'm doing. Oops, now your family member's dead, right? Here in this case, hey, the government is offering health insurance so that if your kids or your wife or your grandmother gets cancer, they're not going to die. No, I don't want it. Oh, damn it, they got cancer, they died, and I didn't have insurance. We were trying to help you, but I'm exhausted from having empathy for you guys. So, okay, now your rate of uninsured in the red states is double what it is in the blue states. Enjoy your ignorance. So, and your ignorance has led to terrible results for you and your family. Okay, either you're gonna wisen up and you're gonna realize that the Republican politicians are in it for the rich and for their donors and never for you, or you're not gonna wisen up, and I guess that's called evolution. 2 easy ways to follow the Young Turks. One is hit the subscribe button down below, then you're a TYT subscriber, and second is ring the bell. And when you do that on YouTube, you're notified of our videos.